Hello Virgos. This is your reading for March 2021. You know, this month is gonna feel so much better than the last period because finally all the planets are moving direct since last days of February. So it's almost like, that push of energy that we needed to have so that we can start fresh again. That's Pisces season. And last month we experienced an stellium of planets. And in case you don't know what is an stellium of planets is when you have more than 3 planets transiting in one house or one sign in the zodiac, no? And last month we had 6 planets in Aquarius, and now this month during season of Pisces we have 5, counting Mercury, Neptune, Venus, the Sun, a new moon on the last 13th of March in Pisces. So like this, the energy, Piscean energy this month, it's really, really strong. And what this means for you, Virgo, because for each sign it's very different, this energy. It really influences or it touches basis or sector in your life that could be not at all the same as what maybe other people experience. And for you, it's the 7th house. I think that this is gonna be a big deal for you regarding your relationships because this is the 7th house. The 7th house is how we relate to others, or partnerships. And it doesn't mean just like love related, like intimate relationships, close relationships, but it's also maybe business partnerships. It's like maybe finding new connections this month. Connections that maybe until now, for you, Virgo, they look quite almost like idealistic. Because, that's the Pisces energy, it's almost like that Neptunian energy that talks all about imagination, about having these ideas, emotions as well, because, we're talking here about a water sign. So I think that for you, this month, it's gonna be a lot relating your emotions. Page of Cups. Maybe, you're starting to, or you're recontacting people from your past that you are able to, let's say, deepen your feelings with, or there is precisely one person in your life, Virgo, that is coming your way, or you are kind of like connecting with already, that it almost feels like, even if it would be a past person, this person feels almost like new. Or maybe the relationship you establish with this person, it almost feels like this childish energy or these childish emotions that are very refreshing. This goes pretty well with all these Piscean, season for you, Virgo. So yeah, maybe you are experiencing here new emotions that you were not experiencing before. And it could be regarding somebody, or it could just be simply regarding something that you are doing. A part of having all the 7th house and talking about your relationships, Virgo, Mars, that was in Taurus for quite some time, I think around 4 months, it's leaving Taurus and it's going into Aries, to Gemini in your 10th house. Yeah, it's Gemini. And what it means to have Mars in your 10th house. Well, it's a lot about your career, your position in this world. Like, how is that you see yourself in what you do, no? Maybe you're trying, or because, Mars is like that planet that is asking us to put energy. It's like where we are putting our energy, where we invest our efforts, or maybe something that is quite a focus for us, and it's gonna be there in this house that probably is asking you to, restructure your work, or maybe put a lot of energy in something that you're doing that is not just influencing you, but it's also influencing others, you see? And yeah, you still have Jupiter and Saturn in your sixth house, so a lot here related maybe even to work and your career and how you practically do your daily life, Virgo. And this is a subject I touched quite well, in my last videos, when we had this transition of Jupiter and Saturn in your sixth house, because they're gonna stay there for quite some time, They're actually gonna be there for most of the year. I think even Saturn is gonna still take there some time, so even longer. So yeah, how you do things, and probably regarding March specifically, probably connections, even if they will be intimate connections, that they will have something very influential for your work and what you're doing now. And then, I cannot forget, by the end of the month, we're starting Aries season, and the Sun and Venus, they are gonna be in your 8th house. So whatever connections you are experiencing right now, or you had experienced, it's almost like right now is a moment where, Virgo, maybe you are kind of like deepen in these connections that they start appearing during this period. And then by the end of the month, and probably by April, and time is relative, maybe you feel this before, or you're feeling it now, or maybe you will feel it even later. But for me, it's almost like more like a guidance to structure the reading, and also a little bit like how I intuitively can feel it. But maybe this is something that will come in a different way for you, okay, or in a different timing or rhythm. So, but I really think that probably during the end of April, with the Sun and Venus in your 8th, it's almost like that's these connections that you restructure. Maybe you are going through a period where you are maybe ending cycles with relationships and starting new ones, And when the Sun enters your 8th house, is a moment where that is almost like this final transformative change in these connections will be established. It's almost like that's when probably something, or it's gonna be taken to maybe another level, maybe to solidify these connections that maybe right now they look quite new, or these emotions that you're experiencing here as quite new. Oh, 2 of Wands, and having to choose. 2 of Wands coming here is almost, and this 2 of Wands is coming here looking at this Page of Cups. And what I'm sensing with these cards is that maybe, Virgo, you are now, or you had been planning in a new move here. Something here that you are looking at is like, Virgo, you're having a vision here, and I think it's maybe regarding a relationship, something that is related maybe to a past relationship, a past connection. And I feel that that now maybe you're in a moment where you're having to take an important decision here. That's the energy of the 2 of Wands. Is, this guy, he is choosing here something, and he knows he's leaving something behind. So, and he's looking right straight to this Page of Cups, which is, let's say, this emotional, maybe, let's say, this emotional connection that you have. And I'm getting by what I see in the cards that this could be the Death card, yes. I think that maybe there is a connection here in the past. Somebody that maybe you had feelings for, or you had an exchange of emotions here in the past, but nothing really went further. It's like the connection didn't really went further on. And what I'm sensing here is that maybe, Virgo, you are looking back to it right now. You're looking back to this connection. You're trying to see or analyze what this connection maybe meant for you or what it means for you right now. And I think that this, let's say, this vision and this analyzing that you are experiencing right now is almost like taking you to a massive transformative change. I see that you're choosing here something. Maybe you're in a moment where you have like two different options, maybe two different connections, and that maybe one of these connections will mean to have a radical change in your life. When the death card appears, and we don't need to get scared here, the death card is just a card that talks, about endings, but it's also talking about new beginnings. And I mean, like for me, one of the most marvelous things that you can experience with this card is that it's almost like that butterfly that comes out of the cocoon. That's the scorpionic energy. It could be that maybe you have a lot of a scorpion in your chart, or you're relating to a Scorpio very strongly here, Virgo, or you just simply are into this moment, and with everything that has been going on in the world, it's almost like that transformation, that metamorphosis of what it was and what we are right now and what we are becoming is so strong. So something here is almost like that that you needing to choose, and that maybe this change will mean a radical drastic change in your life, because the death, it doesn't just change you, but it changes everything. It touches your environment, as it can touch your connections, maybe also your career. I gotta say, having this 2 of 1 here, without talking about connections, if this is something that you're putting your energy in, like that Mars in your 10th and Jupiter and Saturn in your 6th house, plus having at the end of the month a full moon in your 2nd house, the house of values, the house of not just how you see your resources, or how you earn, let's say, your money, or how you earn your it's like the fruits from your work. It's also how you value yourself, Virgo. So some things during this month, important things, are gonna come to the light regarding you and how you see your work. It's like you are looking for something here that is very meaningful. And I think that you are starting probably this maybe new project, new career, or getting a new position regarding what you do in your life, that is maybe taking you to a new, complete, different path. Okay, with the death card coming here. I want to know what is coming as an obstacle for Virgo here. Okay, too many cards, but I always look at them, See, King of Swords, the Fortune, Wheel of Fortune, Three of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, and the Lovers. Talking again about your relationships, Virgo. And I think really, I really think that even if you're gonna be putting a lot of energy in your career and your work this month, I think that really the highlights are gonna be your emotions. And I'm sensing here that probably there is this important choice that you have to make, where there is maybe an important ending coming here for you, Virgo. You know that there is something here is coming to an end of the cycle. A very important end. Maybe there was a past relationship in your life that maybe you were kind of keeping for quite some time. And I think that, we're having here the death with the Ten of Swords, and actually what is coming as an obstacle is this Ten of Swords. So it's been difficult for you to put an end to this cycle. And you know what? I understand it. It's really not easy to, even when we want it, even when we want the change, maybe even when we want to say, okay, you know, this is the time, I need to start something new here. Maybe I want to change of work, or maybe I need to stop this relationship because I realize there is something here maybe I'm missing, or that the other person is missing. But the obstacle, having in the obstacle this Ten of Swords, is almost like, I gotta say, I think that there was something maybe very painful that happened to you, or that is happening to you right now regarding this choice. I almost feel like I'm looking here to a Virgo who is really looking at this Page of Cups. Maybe this first love, or it could be just a friendship that you experienced in the past, or maybe a relationship from the past, that, as I said, it didn't went as far as you maybe wish for. And I think that you are now kind of like relooking at the situation and the connection, but still, like, you know that there is something here that kind of needs to come to the end. And it's being difficult for you to come to this completion or to the closure of this situation, because it's a heavy energy, the Ten of Swords, and it's coming as an obstacle. So, you know, in tarot we go from 1 to 10, I mean, regarding the minor arcanas. And when you get to the 10, and we're talking here about the Ten of Swords, these are like mental ideas. You know, this is more something that is more conceptual and abstract than physical. So yeah, it's almost like you will be having difficulties to say, well, I got until here, and eventually now I know I need to do something different. Okay, I want to know what is coming in the exterior. Okay, because I would like to later on put some specifics, because, you know, it's a general reading, guys, and, you know, I cannot read for every Virgo or everybody who's watching this video. This story might resonate with your story or not, and please, if it doesn't resonate with your story, don't push it, because it doesn't work that way. Okay, if this story doesn't resonate with you, maybe check your natal chart, or just check other videos, and maybe the story that might come or appear in this video and those videos will resonate or be more helpful for your own story. But so when I see the cards, you know, it's like I see this general idea, and then I like to get a little bit more specific into it, into the story, okay, and see what this transformative, what it means, this transformation for Virgo. Okay, what is coming in the exterior for Virgo, please? What is coming in the exterior for Virgo, please? I mean, with the cards they jump off before, I really saw, wow, the Sun card. Somebody is wanting clarity. I mean, a situation in your environment, Virgo, is very helpful for you. I mean, at least this is what I'm feeling. It's almost like, you know, the Sun card, it's one of the best cards that you can have in the tarot. I mean, this card is all about happiness. It's all about clarity. I mean, the sun, you know. It's almost like this lightning energy, you know. And I gotta say, I'm very glad to see this card coming in the environment, because I see that it could be that there is a situation here that somebody wants to bring some clarity regarding you, Virgo, or in your surroundings. You're starting to feel that there is a sense of you being able to understand better what is the situation. And I think that this is the reason why the Death card came, because it's almost like maybe for some time it looked like you could not see a straightforward to what this connection meant for you, or maybe what you were guiding yourself towards, if it's we're talking about your career, or like what you're doing right now, or where you're living. And it almost looked like something here in your environment is coming to you with a sense of clarity. And I think that this is what is pushing you to take this choice. And I don't think that has been a necessarily easy choice. I think that you know that this is something that it's gonna bring so many changes in your life that it is almost mentally difficult for you to accept it. At least that's how I see it. And you know, Virgos, you are an earth sign. I mean, even though your ruling planet is Mercury, you're really mentally super fast. You're probably much faster regarding, communication and ideas in a way that how you fabric these ideas than your other fellow earthy signs like Taurus or Capricorn. But you're still earth. And, for earth energy, for earth elements, earth signs, going through this energy is really not easy, because earth likes to move slowly. It doesn't like to rush. And Virgo, you don't like to rush, in this way. It's almost like you will mentally be very fast, but until you put in practice these actions or maybe take this decision, you take your time. And it almost like that's the feeling I'm having here. It's almost like this choice, I think you had been planning it or you had been observing it for quite some time. Whatever this choice means for you. And I think it's regarding something that it's emotional for you. So what is coming in the hopes and fears for Virgo? The clarity, the King of Swords. This is what is coming in your hopes, but this is also what is coming in your fears. So this King of Swords is almost telling me that something here you want to speak out, or you want that someone express a certain truth regarding a situation. It's almost like you want to or become more rational about it, so that you will be able, let's say, to use the sword and make like a clean cut, or just simply say something that can bring a lot of clarity regarding what it is, the situation. But I think that, or what I'm feeling is that you are almost, even if this is something that you want to, it's almost like you would be also scared of. It's almost like you would be scared of this truth being said, being expressed. Maybe because you don't know yet what will be the answer or what would be the reaction. Because it's in some way, it's almost like something here is almost asking you, Virgo, to be maybe cold-minded about this choice. Almost like, say, detach yourself emotionally, at least for some time, so that you can go through this massive change and say, okay, I need to do this. I need to take this direction, even though it might look super difficult. And I don't think that this is something new for you. I think that you were feeling this for already quite some time, but it's almost like you were trying to push it away. No, you were trying to push away these because you know that was gonna be difficult, or maybe regarding the situation where you were at, it was difficult for you to take direct action towards this choice. But really, this month, clarity is all over you, Virgo. And I think that whatever you were maybe indecisive about, and I'm gonna see, so I want one more last card for the table, and then I'm gonna start putting the specifics. What is coming there, please, for Virgo? Because I need to specify some of these cards. So what is coming next for Virgo? Okay, 8 of Coins and the Chariot. Coming last at the table. Taking the move, moving forward. Working hard in... It's like something here, is gonna demand you a lot of efforts, but for the good, The 8 of Pentacles, what it brings it's almost like this sense of, I gotta say, I mean, for me, this is all about your 10th house, Mars in your 10th house. Uh, you know that there is something here that you want to do regarding maybe your work and your career, that you want to do more. You want to specialize yourself. You're trying to maybe improve a skill or a talent, something that you're probably really good at, and you're putting even more efforts to work on it and create a level of abundance here. And it's not just necessarily, let's say, material, like, let's say, find more resources, but which also, but it's almost like you being in practice of something where you can become almost an expert about. And it's almost like this is something that it doesn't only give you a lot of energy with this chariot coming here, but it's also maybe asking you to move forward, to take, let's say, a direct action here. The chariot, it brings a lot of movement in your life, and all this period, all this season between Pisces and Aries is a season where we're gonna start being more able to take action. It's like we went through this massive change, but it almost looked like all these changes, in some ways, they were blocked. So it was like we were processing all these things inside our head or heart internally, but it almost looked like we were not able to maybe take that direct action. So we were much more like in this position of standing there, looking how we would take the next step, but not yet being able to take that step. And what is happening now is that I think the clarity and the step, it's coming quite clear for you this month. And it's almost like telling you, okay, Virgo, you need to move. Something here is telling you that you really need to move. You really need to start. It's almost like focusing yourself a lot more in these practical things that are gonna help you out to move away maybe from this maybe heaviness that you had been experiencing until now. Let's see, I want to put in a specific to these Two of Wands. No, you know what? The Death card. I'm going to put in a specific for the Death card to start with, because I want to know. I mean, it's a major arcana. And the Death card, when it comes, it's almost like this energy that it's almost that it's an end that doesn't depend it doesn't depend on you. It's almost like a situation that comes to an end, or it transforms to something completely different without you even looking for it, no? It's almost like it almost comes your way as, this had to happen, no? Like, it's almost like an obliged transformation, okay? So what is coming for the Death card? The Three of Cups. I see this Page of Cups that came before, Two of Wands. I think that this death transformation that you're experiencing maybe right now, or you will experience during this month, or you did in the past, Virgo, is relating to your relationships. It could be just friends, it could be just relatives, but these are like people that are close to you, emotionally speaking. They're very influential in your life. And I got a feeling that this could have been maybe somebody that you had emotions for, or you had a special connection with. And what I'm sensing here is almost like this friendship is transforming. I want one more card for this Death card, okay? Because a decision has been taken. Five of Swords. A decision here has been taken. And I don't know why, if this is resonating with you or not, but maybe you were in a situation where you were in a relationship and for some time, or maybe this was just like not like such an old relationship, but I gotta say, it's almost, I feel like you had to you had to choose here something. Maybe you were in between of choosing between different people, Virgo, or somebody in your life was. But you know that this is something that kind of have to come to an end. Something regarding a relationship here had to come to an end or transform to a different level, because I believe that in this relationship, whoever this person might mean or connection means in your life, I think that there was a lot of miscommunication, or there were a lot of things that weren't said in the right way. Maybe somebody here was acting out of pity or out of ego issues. Like this Five of Swords energy is that energy where, you know, two people have, let's say, a fight, or they have this communication problem, but it's almost like they don't, it's almost like neither of them end up having a victory over the situation. It's almost like both persons, they leave the situation, the fight or the discussion or the problem or the relationship in a way, but without really having a sense of victory over that problem. And having this Three of Cups here, what I like about this is that maybe this was something that happened and you knew that it had to kind of come to an end because it wasn't serving you any longer. But I think that you were trying to push this end, no? You were trying to push that final decision. I mean, coming with this obstacle on the Ten of Swords, or maybe was doing that regarding you. But there is clarity here coming. Somebody maybe, it's like somebody here wants to speak out. Somebody here wants to speak up or wants to come to clarity about the situation. Virgo. So why the Ten of Swords is in the obstacles, please? We have here again the Chariot and the Moon. So we're having here the Sun and the Moon in the reading, with the Chariot for a second time coming in the reading, with this Ten of Swords. Wow. Virgo, what I'm feeling here is almost like you knew for a very long time that you needed to take this move. You knew that you had to move from a situation, maybe a relationship, because there was a lot of deception in this relationship. That's what I get with the Moon and the Chariot coming to explain this Ten of Swords. It's almost like you knew that there was a situation here that you need to move away from because there wasn't enough clarity, there was a lot of deception in the middle, or there was a lot of, it's like hidden information. Somebody here wasn't really clear about their emotions, or maybe it was you, Virgo, who wasn't really clear about your emotions. Like there was a sense of fogginess regarding this relationship or this situation. And I think that this is why for you it was so difficult in a way to feel that this was kind of the next step. They say, arrive to the end of the deception, arrive to the end of the misunderstanding, and, you know, let the sun come out. You know, what I really like about this vibe is that I see that, as I said, there was a lot of miscommunication here, and I think that this was quite painful for you in the sense that you could not really maybe take that final decision. But what I'm seeing here is that the clarity is coming out. And you know, this is how you're coming here as, like, what you're hoping is that the truth is being expressed with the King of Swords. So, and I'm glad to see the Chariot at the end of the reading. You know what, I'm going to take it still in specific, and this is going to be my last card. I want to know what is this Chariot at the end for Virgo, please. The Magician and the Two of Swords. Yes. To explain this Chariot, Virgo, it's like this is the decision. It's like, Virgo, you know that whatever you were not able to decide until right now, maybe this was regarding your work or your career, or maybe this is regarding a personal relationship, an intimate relationship in your life, that you knew in some way that something here had to come out to the light. And what is happening is that, Virgo, your truth is being spoken here. And I see that you are kind of like taking the chariot and knowing that, this indecision, like with this Two of Swords, this sense of you maybe in the past not being able to choose, or maybe that was what somebody was feeling in the past. It's almost like now that situation with the Magician is being solved. Is somebody here is manifesting something, and what is manifesting, it feels like a real new beginning, something that probably is even telling you to take a move here, to go to a new direction, where I think is maybe a lot related, or there is a lot related to your material world and like what you're practically doing in your life. But I see like the sense of a new beginning here really strongly. And I think that maybe if right now you're still experiencing these emotions that feel quite heavy and say, okay, whoa, I mean, I knew that it was gonna come, but man, I mean, still, I feel almost like it feels kind of painful, no? That maybe this had to happen, but you know that right now it's almost like the clarity that you needed is there, and it's almost like you cannot avoid it. And I think that this is what is also bringing you to this new start, Virgo, that is so much, I think it's gonna feel so much better for you than probably what you were experiencing until right now. Okay? So, well, Virgos, I hope you enjoyed the reading. And of course, if you're interested in having a private reading, don't doubt to contact me. I'm leaving my email below. And I hope you have a really good end of the month, guys. Take care. Okay? Bye bye.